Comedy Simp, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist. Spitting fire on the
Open is closed,
All right.
but we're opening a whole new thing.
All right, we're going to start this again. You ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
I like that raw dog start.
All right, welcome to the Comedy Simp podcast. This is Stephen Michael James, comedian extraordinaire. I'm here with my buddy Corey Hill. And Corey, what's going on, man? What are we doing here? Where are we?
I'm getting dizzy getting out of this gas station parking lot, but we are on our way to do some filming and comedy and just laughter and love all tonight.
Yeah, and there's like traffic everywhere. So
And we're in the fuck stuck start of the whole of it all.
yeah. So anyways, man, let's talk a little bit about you. I know you a little bit from the Whiskey Mile. You do comedy. You've been going there for how long? When was the first time you went to the Whiskey Mile?
Somewhere in like October of 2024.
October 2024. Okay, so do you
Yeah.
remember what it was like that night, the first time you showed up?
Oh, yes, actually, I roughly do. Roughly, because it wasn't fully clear-minded, but I had a couple compadres with me, and we did our thing. She did worse than I did, I think, but when I went up there, I felt good energy. I felt like okay, there was hardly anyone listening, so not a lot of laughter, but I felt like I could do this again. Yeah. And I never saw her again.
So your compadres. You said your compadres.
Well,
let's talk a little bit about
acquaintances, I would say.
Let's talk a little bit about you, man. How old are you? Are you from Washington? Tell people about you.
Okay.
The Corey Hill, the man, not the comedian, just the man. Who is Corey Hill?
The skinny of me.
The skinny mini.
Yeah.
What is it? Who are you?
Yeah, I'm 34.
34.
Yeah,
Nice.
and,
Good age.
April 1st, 1991. That's
Whoa.
my real birthday.
April Fools.
No fooling.
You know what's weird is my mother-in-law's birthday is also on April 1st, which is, she doesn't like it. She hates it. What do you think about having an April Fool's birthday?
I hope she's still alive.
Oh,
That's
she's
good.
still around, yeah.
Okay, well.
Sometimes I wish she wasn't, but no, she's great.
But,
She's
no.
She's a nice lady. She's my
No,
wife.
I always get pranked. No one ever gives me anything, or they always act like they forget, but it's a forget.
Yeah.
No, it happens. It's great. I like Red Robin on a birthday. That's good.
Red Robin?
Yeah.
Wait, what are we talking? How do we get on Red Robin?
Oh, just talking about getting out comedy. We were talking about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about how I am 34, April 1st, 1991. That's my birthday. Grew up here in Kirkland, Washington, just up the road from the Whiskey Mile.
So you grew up where you're born here and raised in this area, Washingtonian.
I am a Washingtonian, but I did do Washingtonian traveling. I never traveled out, but I traveled around.
What do you mean by that? Like different cities in Washington?
Yes. So like Kennewick,
Yeah,
the Tri-Cities.
Never been there, heard a lot about it. There's a lot of comedy down there in the Tri-Cities.
I was too young at the time, but it's hot and not a lot going on down there. So it could be definitely going on down there. Like, what else people got to do than say, hey, I didn't have much to do. So, but that place, I grew up for a little pocket of my space of my life. And then, so it's weird. Kirkland Kennewick, Kent. All
A lot of K's, man. A lot of K's.
Well, the Cool Kids Club. No, no, I don't. I don't know. No, I just. And then I circled back. Circle K. I came back to Kirkland, and that's my home stomping ground. And my grandparents lived here since 1970. It was all sticks and trees. It was all good. And
so when you were a young boy, early 90s, Kirkland, Washington, they're talking about this is like the explosion, the tech boom, you know, Microsoft, Google, we had Costco, you know, a lot of companies were coming into this area. I'm from California, so we didn't have like a lot of major...
Sacramento?
Sacramento. That's where I'm from. We didn't have a lot of major industries. You know, if you go down to the Bay Area in California, there you have Silicon Valley. You have all the tech companies there. But so you grew up here, and has Kirkland changed a lot? You know?
It has.
Yeah.
It has. And we had an annex. Necessarily what that means. We just got more police officers in 2011. More, like a whole, like
2011.
Oh yeah, it grew big, right? That was when I was getting out of high school too, and everything. I got out 2010, and they said, "Oh, this is all happening. The changes around. They're cleaning it up. They're kind of making it a little more yuppie." A little more Redmond, a little more bicycle. Let's go. And hey, there's a yogurt, and there's a dog bowl for your dog, and that's awesome. I love that. That's cool. But
so, would you say that Kirkland was less safe when you were younger, or is it just changed?
Well,
like, was it more dangerous?
I think I was more street smart than school smart.
Okay.
So I can't say, but I think yes. I think you're right. I think it probably was, for sure, because everyone's like, hey, I can do it. But now, you know, you can't find that old man in the white Bronco anymore. Like now it's just that now he knows that there's a cop, like, at that donut shop or Baskin Robbins or 7-Eleven, every other spot. So
exactly.
it's less safe, but maybe, I don't know.
All right.
Mixed feel.
Let's get back to the comedy here. You know, you started comedy relatively recently. You've just been kind of hitting the open mics. You've never been to Tacoma Comedy Club, have you?
No.
All right, so this will be your first time there.
Yeah.
You know, never seen a show there. Have you ever seen any comedy outside of the Whiskey Mile?
Yes.
Okay, so what have you seen?
I've gone to the Dope Show down in Seattle. I went to a venue.
The Dope Show.
I've gone to back then too, and that's one of my bits. Is I dated this bartender for a second, and I took her out to the Whitest Kids You Know, to the Neptune Theater.
Look at this guy. This guy he's like an onion. The layers just keep coming off. Man.
And then also I went to Jeff Dye at the Neptune. Him and I had a good little powwow.
What do you mean by had a powwow? You met Jeff Dye?
Yeah, I had him sign
comedian.
one of my Mariner card. It was, I believe it was Dan Wilson card. But I'm just like, how stupid and fun. I'm like, for you, baseball god, to sign this. And just to keep it, because I have a good collection of cards, just a eclectic collection, and I just thought that was so fun and random to have that, and so we had a good little time, and also Andrew Rivers.
Big local guy. He's a big local star. You know, his dad. I didn't really know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so I grew up in California, so I don't know the history. But his dad was a legend, I guess, of the radio. Bob
radio
Rivers.
icon for sure. Growing up, I listened to him. Going on this road that we're listening to, or on right now, and listening to what we're saying.
What kind of radio did Bob Rivers do? For a guy that was uninitiated, tell me about what kind of stuff would he...
Very topical, very going on, just about the Seattle scene and what was happening and what he grew up. He grew up seeing a lot of good bands and being around the KISW.
KISW, great radio station, you know, a staple, rock history up here, you know, starting off with the grunge. You know, did you like the music of Seattle, you know, when you were young?
Absolutely.
Yes, Nirvana,
Well,
you know,
definitely,
Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. We were talking about Alice in Chains earlier, you know, great band. You know, I still I miss that style of music, you know. I wonder if it's still around.
Or that whole, how there was like a clique going on.
Yeah, no, there's always a scene. There's music scenes everywhere. I mean,
What's your scene?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure it out. I've gone through, you know, you play music. You know, you're a guitar player, you know. I think when you are a musician, and I guess
Sorry, man.
What?
Right there.
Oh, no, I was just say, you know, when you're a musician, especially one that writes their own songs, you know, you're always, like, searching, you know, you're always trying to find, like, the next thing that, you know, you digest music like food, you know, like, just always taking in new stuff. And so as a musician and you're learning and writing, you get in these phases. So, you know, I was, like, my metal phase, and you know, like when you first start, at least in my experience, when I started playing guitar as a young teenager, it's like you play the basic rock stuff, you know, Nirvana, Green Day, Offspring, and then you know you start to get into metal, Metallica, and all that, and then people go off into their own directions, you know. I've been into like the emo punk stuff. I've been into like weird progressive rock, classic rock, you know. I'm not really.
You're about kind of you go and bounce about. High and lows on everything.
Yeah, I mean it just depends on my mood, and I got different playlists, and I've been really listening to a lot of
respectable.
A lot of music lately, a lot of new music, just because I've just been getting so bored with the same old stuff. I mean, I've listened to certain songs like hundreds of times, and it's like I don't want to not like them, but you know, gotta find other things.
You lose your luster. Yeah, you lose the luster on something. You're like, I'm burnt out on this. It's like a movie. I love movies. Are you a movie guy?
Oh yeah, I'm always
constantly referencing movies, and people are like, what? And they're like, I wasn't even born yet for that movie you're talking about. I'm like, oh, you make this so hard.
Well, the problem with movies these days is that a lot of it's just there's nothing that kind of stays in the culture for that long. You know, I mean, when we were kids, you had these movies that were in the theater for many, many months. You know, Titanic and Avatar and, you know, Spider-Man, just things like. And now, I mean, movies come and go. I think what was the last like really big movie event, you know, that you could remember? I feel like it was maybe like the last Avengers movie, the End Game. That was pretty like a big deal, made a lot of money.
I knew a girl from high school who, you know, this just little cutie that I thought something of, but she was a whiz kid. She was in the chess club, and she was already dating another football player from somewhere else. So, as I pulled myself from the trash can, I'm like, oh no, she's awesome. But then also too, I met her at the movie theater one day getting out of my movie. I see she's dressed in full. She was an Avatar. The Avatar.
She's one of those blue women, huh?
Yeah, or
blue ladies.
She had a Komodo Zoto. I don't know.
A Komodo Zoto. I don't know. I love that. Listen, we're writing.
I hesitate to articulate for fear I
here.
may prevaricate from the fear. I don't know what I'm saying.
This is going to be my most popular podcast. This is going to be better than the episode with Cruz. That's right.
Hey, we're freewaying.
Yeah.
We're freewaying.
I'm going to ask you a weird question, man. This could be a very weird question.
Well,
this is very self-serving to me.
I like to try to be true.
What was your impression of me first time you saw me?
Shut up.
Yeah, like on, you know, probably saw me at Whiskey Mile on stage, right? I'm sure you laughed, but, you know, what do you think? I mean,
Well,
you seem
I'm
to
sure
be a
you're
fan
sure.
of you seem to be a fan of my comedy a little bit, and showing up. But,
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm not getting paid to show. No.
yeah.
No. Yeah.
Let's go to a clip.
Absolutely. I love coming out. And I saw him as the host, and they were very, very welcoming and cool. A little standoffish, but told me, "Hey, you better tune that guitar. Here, I got some apps for you." Um, but other than that, I didn't. I took it with stride. I went on, and also, yes, I remember you got some really funny, relatable stuff, and that's what kept me coming to watch it. Like, oh, get excited, and like, I think I'm gonna hear something I know that I could like. That seems kind of up my alley, around my age. You're
Yeah.
a little bit older than me, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm 39. Gonna be 40 this year.
Yeah.
I got a lot of big
Well,
things happening this
the
year, man. I'm
Big things
gonna be
happen.
40. Me and my wife are gonna have our 10th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
My kid just turned 7. My dog just died. So many different things going on. I am excited for comedy, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been doing it, the reason I ask you this is because, am I at the point now where I can offer advice to people? Why not?
Well,
I feel like I've been
yeah.
doing this a little over 2 years. I get laughs pretty well, so I'll just, I think if you or people like you want to do this, you just got to figure out your own way. Like, I don't think that it's a good idea for you to go up on stage and start telling jokes like me or start being like Jordan. Like, you just be yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you've come up with a couple.
That feels organic.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
exactly.
yourself. That's what I like the
You
most.
found some stuff that you've said some stuff recently in the past few weeks that got some laughs.
Oh, so can I turn that quick question on you then?
Mm-hmm.
With you don't have to make it as elongated, but as mine. But I've done something to make you want me here in your car right now on
Yes,
the freeway, stuck in traffic.
I need you to be my assistant. No, kind of, but not really, man.
I can do it.
It seems to me that you seem to be a fan of comedy, the local guys. And that's kind of how I started with this podcast and, reposting, other people's podcasts and starting little pages and stuff like that and being involved a little bit. And it's like, I already see you taking pictures and stuff at shows. So I'm like, why don't you, if you want, just tag along with me and some of the other guys, help us out, like record some stuff, and then, you can watch us and we can show you, give you some ideas for jokes. And, I know you don't have a car, so this is your opportunity now. You can put your name in the bucket. Maybe you'll get up on stage, maybe not, and we'll see. But
You got a 50-50 chance if it
you can
go
see
out.
how
If you got
Yeah.
a 100% chance of failure if you don't.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
go for it. Be out there. Put yourself out there. I've been putting myself out there, and here I am right now, stuck on the freeway with this guy.
Yeah. But no, my impression of you, I mean, dude, you're a new comedian. You got a lot of stuff that it takes a long time to figure out, what your voice is and what kind of jokes you want to tell, and just even being comfortable on stage. I think you're getting there, I don't know, man, your voice, you have the way you talk, like, I think it fools people, like, because it makes me feel like, you hit your head when you were younger or something like that. But you're a really smart guy. I'm not, it's just, would you say you were kind of shy growing up?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a plague in our whole family.
Yeah. Your whole family, so like
Oh, yeah.
your siblings and stuff also shy?
So we're also named as alcoholics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but I mean, that's a...
Well, I saw you drinking
cover-
a beer the other night. You seem to be all right.
Oh, yeah.
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 So, the family, though. Families had the problems. You don't really have the problems. Is that what we were saying?
No.
No.
I'm not saying that.
He's like, sometimes I got problems.
No. I think I have a very strong family genetics and personality. And I think there is no such thing as sanity. There's just variances of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's very true.
And so it's just pick your poison, pick your person. There's 7-8 billion people probably. So, but we have a lot of similar traits, and a lot of good ones that like this, like comedy, that bind us.
Mhm.
But it probably led to something or caused from something, or it, maybe nothing at all. But and that's the different personalities of the person. But I'm saying, my family, uh, we're great people, strong-hearted, but yeah, we'll have our issues just like a normal American family.
Yeah,
Irish
no.
and Norwegian
Yeah,
is my heritage.
there you go. Yeah, stoic people that are very hard to change their mind, stuff like that. What do you think? What's something about you that the people would be surprised to find out? What
Well-
is something about you?
Okay.
Like, you're a music fan, a movie fan, of course, but if you start going into like deeper knowledge on that stuff, I'll be impressed. But
Okay. Well,
but like, what's tell people about Corey?
okay.
Obviously, sounds like you've done a lot of dating, and a lot of girls, relationships, tried out. Now you're the lone wolf.
Well, actually, all right. You just threw us into that pitfall right there of that topic. That is quite the opposite. Quite the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, you just the first thing right out the gate threw that dart out, and that was what we're gonna. That's the
Well,
topic.
you're telling me you were dating this girl, this bartender. So
No, a date. I
Okay.
took her out on a couple
Okay.
dates.
Not dating. Went out on a date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
date
Well,
or date or
I don't envy.
Date.
I don't envy anybody single right now. I can imagine. I mean, now more than ever, it's incredibly just communication between people, men and women, boys and girls. Men and men, girls and girls, all that kind of stuff. It's been
then they
very difficult, and then there's people that just can't decide what they want, or people that settle on a relationship only for it to like fall apart later. So it's so many different things, and dating apps. The only advice that I would have for you on that, and I know it's probably heard it before, is it's just like, just try not to focus on it. Once you start focusing on like other things and things that make you happy, then it's like somebody will just come along. It always happens. I swear to God, man, because like when I was single, I was like trying to talk to people online and dating and stuff like that, and it was just not good. And then I ended up finding my wife and stuff like that, but
not through the Philippines, right?
yeah, no, not
Don't do that.
No.
All right.
Probably not.
You
I
gotta
used to work.
meet 'em, too.
I used to work with these guys from the Philippines, and they were so funny. They had no filter, and they told me, Steven, if you ever go to the Philippines, you just don't meet a girl from Manila. They all want your money, and I'm like, whoa, okay. So eat a nice girl from some small town
Say
somewhere else.
salamat po, thank you.
Don't go to Manila, which, yeah, I guess is one of a big heavy traffic thing.
Have a pocket full of candy.
yeah.
For,
So no, man,
August rush.
I'm not the best. I mean, I haven't dated anybody for
well, you're-
13 years.
Yeah.
So I can only tell you how to be in a long-term relationship. I couldn't tell you how
Hey,
to
that's
get,
what we all want.
I couldn't tell you how to
truly
catch
think.
anybody, but just I think,
Hmm?
and this is my opinion.
Everyone's got their
experience,
allowed
this is
opinion.
experience.
Go
This whole like in the early 20s up until you like the age that you are now, that's when everybody's still trying to figure out their stuff and figure out what they want, and a lot of people they don't figure it out until way later, until they're my age, 40. But
Well,
I feel like a lot of women who get to this age, they start to realize, like, hey, you know, I'd rather have a nice guy who's stable, who's going to take care of me, be loyal to me, and not some douche who, you know, who's covered in tattoos and doesn't have a job. So, you know, but
Some
that's
fuckboy ragdoll.
but that's very appealing to a big portion of the female population, you know, during that specific time period, you know.
Especially when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Oh, lock it all down.
How about some practical advice? Yeah, you said something about Philippines. I would say don't date anybody out of the country. I know it's.
Oh, yeah.
I know people are like, yeah, things happen and you can fall in love and this and that. I don't think it's a good idea at all. I think it's, you know, there's 330 million people in the United States, so you're bound to find somebody in the U.S.
And most of them people shouldn't be here. No.
That's a political humor from Corey over here. He shouldn't be here, is what he says.
Laughter, laughter, laughter.
Yeah, I don't know. You know.
Edit. No. So comedy. I'm saying I'm not uncomfortable with anything we talk about.
So,
you go off. I am to reciprocate all what you're saying.
yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, focus. I mean, you know, man, if you enjoy the comedy, I'd say keep doing it. You know, where we're going tonight is one of the best clubs in the state. If not, some people would argue the best. You know, at this point,
I think so.
It's Tacoma Comedy Club, 6th Avenue. They have 2 locations. The smaller one is the best room.
What is it called? The silly room?
It's a smaller room, you know, so it doesn't hold as many people, but the echoes are louder.
Oh, do they have the same name though?
They're both Tacoma Comedy Club.
Okay.
It's just one of them is on Market Street, which is in downtown Tacoma, and then the other one is in 6th Avenue, which is Then you have Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club. That's a brand new
the one I'm thinking of.
That one just opened up. It used to be used to be somewhere else in Tacoma, and then it closed it down, and now it opened up.
Hey.
And then you have in Seattle, where I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to be at Club Comedy, which is in Capitol Hill.
Been there. I
And
like it.
I've done their open mic a few times, and doing the pro audition, and then
Tiny stage, so hard.
you know there's a new club in Seattle, also in Capitol Hill, called Emerald City Comedy Club. That used to be Comedy Bar.
And you've
so
done. How was that?
I've done their open mic too, and it was okay. You know, it's I just always feel like I do better down here in Tacoma. It just seems like more of my style of comedy and the style of comedy fans. But I wouldn't write Seattle off. I think Seattle is definitely pretty valuable if you want to be a well-rounded comedian, if you want to be able to do different types of rooms and have different types of fans. You know, I don't think it's very... Everybody is on their own path, but, you know, I think I wouldn't want to limit myself to, you know, one particular audience.
May I just say again about the Whiskey Mile? Why I like it?
The Whiskey Mile.
The Whiskey Mile. It's this bar. Once you go there many times over, it's like Cheers, which
Everybody knows your names.
Rest in peace, Norm.
George Wendt, actor George Wendt
Yep.
from Cheers, just passed away.
So,
You know, George Wendt, actually great actor, man. I mean, he is in a lot of movies that I watched growing up. He was in I think it was House.
Yeah.
House, the horror movie, and then another movie called Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I think I can definitely eat a bratwurst with him. I would love to met him. That's cool.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Like, hey, you're a cool guy.
I believe he was
watching you.
76 though. You know, he was up there in age. So
Awesome.
big
Okay.
guy,
That was
also
just a-
really big guy. I mean, he's like Trump's size, basically, like that kind of like big wide frame. But yeah.
But
Yeah, Whiskey Mile.
Whiskey Mile. Yeah.
Let's talk about the show the other night, huh? You were at the show.
It was awesome.
We did the Red Wagon West. I sound like I'm like
Red
a big-
Wagon Rescue.
Red Wagon Rescue.
Wagging your tail.
Our friend Brian Fukuda put it on. He got together with some people and part of the dog rescue and did this show benefit. Had some dogs there to be adopted. and it was kind of chaotic. You know, well, it didn't go over as smooth as it could have been, but all the comedians were pretty good. You know, we had Thessaly Belassis and Jordan Macias, me, Bruce DeTour, Lori Peck. Missing anybody else? And Brian, you know, Brian did his
Yourself,
stuff too.
you know.
Yeah, and me.
You know.
And it was a fun show. I thought my set
Jordan.
went pretty good up until the very end. You know, I was doing a 10-minute set, and I've been really working on this set for my audition tomorrow, which is about 5 to 7 minutes. So once I hit that 7-minute mark, I started to run out of stuff to talk about. At the same time, I had an idea to do something for my dog because, you know, it was a dog benefit show, and my dog, I had to put her down like, you know, a month and a half ago. So obviously she wasn't there, but so I wanted to do a thing where I played like a couple funny videos, and I should have put more time into it and more thought into it, but whatever, it was just a thought that counts. And then Jeff, he was just having a hard time like getting the files to play on time, and
that was the thing. That was the only one thing.
We love Jeff. Jeff is awesome, but sometimes he's a little late when it comes to playing the music. Sometimes a new person's already on stage by the time he hits play. So, but hey, you know, we take what we can get. Guy's hanging in there. So, Whiskey Mile is fun. But yeah, you're going to see something different tonight. You know, we're going to be at a comedy club.
Real laughs.
The one thing about comedy clubs, let me take a drink here real quick. The one thing about comedy clubs is rarely, if not ever, does the audience talk to the person on stage. Whereas at Whiskey Mile, you can get in a whole yelling match with somebody who's watching. You can get in a conversation, you know. You can find out somebody's, astrological sign. But no, comedy clubs, it's, you know, a lot of them, they have an announcement in the beginning. They'll say, this is a monologue, not a dialogue, meaning shut up. We don't want to hear you talk. Let the comedians on stage do their thing. So there's pros and cons to doing an open mic like Whiskey Mile. You know, pros, you have more control over how you want to run the show. You have more control over how much time you get to do. You have more control over the lineup. But you have bad audience members. You know, you have drunk people. You have unforeseen insanity that happens when you're in a bar. Whereas you go to a comedy club, you don't have control over the list. You only get a certain amount of time. And then sometimes, you know, you get bumped. Sometimes you think you're number 15 and then you actually are number 20 because 5 other comedians came in that are more popular than you. So
it's a tough ride for
but
me
I like
to
it.
ride, and I get bumped too.
I love it though. I like the tradition of it, you know, the hierarchy, all that kind of, it's like the reason not everybody does comedy is because it's very hard to do the stuff outside of just the jokes, you know? Like, so many funny comedians in Seattle and Tacoma, but they don't have an online presence because they're not interested in that. And that's cool. That's cool, but you're kind of missing out also at the same time. Like, you're missing out on potential fans. You're missing out on people who could potentially buy tickets to a show, you know, so I wouldn't limit myself. I wouldn't want to limit myself. Who are some of the big name comedians that you like? Some of the big comics out there today? Who inspires you, you know?
I just running from back to front. I like Lenny Bruce to...
Lenny Bruce, man, this 34-year-old man just brings out the oldest comic reference.
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce, I mean, legend. I never listened to his stuff, but yeah, I mean, he broke ground. I mean, a lot of people say there wouldn't be the modern form of stand-up if it wasn't for him. Whereas my stand-up is kind of more of an old school style, you know, of just telling jokes.
But, yeah.
Whereas Lenny Bruce he was a conversational type guy, you know. He would just go up there and talk. And yeah, I'd like to be more like that, but well, yeah, who else?
I think you kind of have some jokes like that, you know.
I'm trying.
You get in talking about your kid, and you have the premise, you gotta lead in, and then you have the joke. So it's not too long. Those are like more storylines. What they do, like bits, long bits.
Yeah.
You do jokes that are just a little longer. Yeah. Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, those three kind of lumped together. But then I liked people like Mark Norman and Dan Soder.
Look at that. Yeah, good. Dan Soder's awesome, man.
They kind of have this lovable, I'm a goof.
Yeah, one of my, I won't call him a friend. We don't hang out, but my friend, Adam Tiller, he opened up for Ari Shaffir when Ari Shaffir was at the Moore. I think at the Moore. In Seattle. It could have been another venue.
No, it was that.
But Dan Soder was actually a guest on that show too. So I asked him about it. He just said it was insane, you know. And then another guy I know, Taylor Clark.
Taylor Clark?
Yeah, he did he opened up for Mark Norman at the Moore.
Yep.
I think he said 1,200 people.
He was
pretty
a guy.
Insane.
He gave me a ride home like a month ago.
Taylor did?
Yep,
wow,
yep.
Taylor. Wow, nice guy.
We were at Juanita Cantina, so it was fun.
Oh man, he was
and
great. Like, what a great dude, you know. Great skateboarder.
Him and his wife.
Insane skateboarder. I mean,
yeah.
And he's my age, pretty much. Like the guy. The fact is, I don't know if you know his story, but you know, when he was a kid, he wanted to be like a pro skater. But then as he got older, he was like, I'm gonna move to New York to become a comedian. And then when he moved to New York, he got picked up by a pro skate company. So he was like, it wasn't even real. It was like my dream as a kid, but it wasn't like my realistic dream as an adult. And then it ended up happening, and comedy ended up kind of going to the side for a while he was a pro skateboarder. But no, he really does a great job of trying to find that balance. And then, you know, do you know about the comedy classes in Seattle? And Tacoma.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, so he does the one at Club Comedy, and I like Club Comedy. I'm gonna be there tomorrow, you know, and you know, a lot of guys that I really like and respect. They work at that club a lot, so
Rick Taylor.
You know, I got nothing bad to say about him. Laughs Comedy Club, they don't have an open mic, but they have Andrew Frank, who teaches the class there. Andrew. He did a set over at the Whiskey Mile. He did a feature set.
Yeah. I saw of it. I wasn't there. I must have missed that one. One time I missed.
And then Tacoma has this guy, Corey Michaelis. And I don't know much about him, but he's a big name. He has a lot of shows at the historic Everett Theater. A lot of big shows. They books down there, so. And then I don't know who does there's bound to be somebody at Comedy Bar that does comedy classes, but you know.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting, you know. I was very much against it. I didn't like it when I first.
You did the Comedy Bar, yeah.
I did the open mic. I've never taken a comedy class.
No,
I'm just talking about
mic.
just in general.
Yeah. How'd you like it?
Well, I only did it twice.
Okay.
You know, the whole year it was there. You know, it's kind of a weird story. I was kind of just not going there because, I don't know, whatever reason. I had some...
Yeah. You just didn't feel
I was trying to support
enough.
A guy who wasn't allowed to perform there, and it was just for no reason. I mean...
Kobe when Shaq was suspended. All right. I see.
Yeah. But it had nothing to do with me, and honestly, the reason why that guy wasn't allowed at that bar was probably justified anyways. So, but I didn't go there, you know, for like the year or two that it was open. And then the times that I was there, they didn't really like my stuff, you know. And even Emerald City, the one time that I was there a couple weeks ago, you know, they thought it was okay. You know, and the crowd was lukewarm. But then I come down here to Tacoma tell the exact same jokes 2 days later, and it's like every joke just boom, 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 boom. So,
I believe that.
you know,
I believe it's the audience.
yeah, it is.
And especially if you're feeling that spunk about yourself and you're ready to go. And I've seen it. I mean, I've honestly just laughed where, you know, it was the quick snap twos, and once you get their diaphragms going, boom. But then if you go to a certain place like that, they can just cold-heartedly and stop.
Yeah.
And you're like, what just happened? Where? Why? Whoa. Hey. Okay. Oh, nervous. Getting shaky. No. What happened? Yeah. So, I mean, but, you know, and that's bull. That's bull.
You are a character, man. Do you know Theo Von? Obviously, you know Theo Von, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the internet.
So I feel like you could be a Theo Von type character. And I don't mean like redneck or white trash, but I just think more like you have these phrases that you say sometimes that are not totally characteristic of normal English language. And also you just have like you have this thing, you say this thing, like it's not even really a joke, but every time you go on stage and you say double decker, everybody I just crack up just thinking about like double decker.
God, I haven't said that joke in quite some time. You remember that? That's awesome.
So double decker. So yeah, man, it sounds like to me, we haven't even got to the surface of your upbringing here in Kirkland, but you know, you could be on the podcast many more times and get into that, but
yeah.
I feel like
We're common.
you have probably had some unique situations growing up, I would imagine, right? You know, some weird stuff happened, you know.
You know, nothing like Law and Order-ish.
Yeah, no.
But we all had these dysfunctional family types, but not even dysfunctional, maybe growing up poor, growing up on, you know that you're
you've been able to make it in Kirkland your whole life, so you guys are doing something right.
something.
Yeah.
Well, the grandparents,
got in,
50 years
yeah,
Boeing,
got in before everything got expensive.
I live with my 92-year-old grandfather. I have been.
Wow, 92.
Yeah.
Whoa, holy cow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And
so what year, let's try to do the math. What year was he
33.
born? 1933.
Well, he's 31. His cousin, brother, uncle is 30.
Wow.
He's 92. 91, 92-year-old. And then I have all that around
man.
me.
How does he function? Is he mentally?
He had his stroke. He had his heart attack. That's all done. And what sucks was during COVID, he didn't even know it. He such a strong Norwegian man, just sitting there in his lazy boy recliner. He's like, doesn't want the hospital, doesn't like doctors. I think you might want to call him. I don't know. And it's like, oh, sir, you had a heart attack a week ago. And it's like, oh, okay. What are we gonna do now? Fix you, like try. And so, great man. He just says, you live here. You try to do your best to keep the status, be a man, grow up. We'll see. But
and then is there a grandma too, or is it just grandma?
she passed. She passed some years
So
earlier.
he's just the oldest. He's the oldest one in the house.
Really? Yep.
And then who else is there? I mean, I saw some kids.
And you saw the little ones.
I saw
you
some
saw
kids.
the little ones. Yep.
Some young kids. You help out with some nephews.
My little nephews. We got 11, 5, 4, and so I lose my cell phone every other second because I put it down and then try to go to them and they're gone. And and you got some great kid jokes. I'm working on some kid jokes. It just they frustrate me so much at times that I'm like, is this joke or is this gonna be written down for some documentation?
Well, I'm gonna help you out, man.
All right.
You're like the white Cam Patterson. I don't know if you watch Kill Tony, but
I do it all. I am a nerd. I am a
reference.
comedian nerd.
I was watching. I don't really watch Kill Tony that much anymore, but I was
Yeah.
watching it the other night. The one with Harlan Williams with my wife, and she doesn't even really watch comedy, and we were just both cracking up.
Please, just watch it once. Touch it.
No,
Watch
she has her own Nintendo Switch that she lays in bed, plays her Disney game.
It
And
better be Mario Kart.
no, it's Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Okay.
It's a game where you basically build a Disney village, and you have to
It's like The Sims.
Kind of, yeah. You hang out with all these Disney characters, and you build houses, and you design things and furniture, and go on missions. And
That was the AI of killing your spouse back then. You're I'm just not gonna feed you for 14 hours, and then you're dead.
oh man,
No,
that's horrible.
that is
You kill your avatar.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know what's so sad is when you make an avatar what came from the Wii games or whatever, and they look like you, and they actually you're that's too good.
Yeah.
You're this is a little kid game.
I'm pretty good at designing avatars.
I take pride in it. Yeah.
I had this WWE game back in 2016, and on that game you could actually take a picture of somebody, upload it online, and then you could put their face onto the created character.
Oh wow.
And so I did one of my friend Ian,
And it's smeared.
and then with the T-shirt and everything, and it was perfect. Oh, Pikachu, huh?
Oh, it
so
came
we-
out perfect.
So we're right here. Let's do a check-in.
Sure.
We're on 405 driving, or actually no, we're on I-5 now.
There's a plane going
We
the
are
opposite
driving.
way.
We're south of we're
That's
somewhere.
not a plane.
We're on our way to Federal Way, and we just drove under an overpass, and I saw a bunch of protesters. Two signs. One said "resist." The other one, I don't know what it said.
Resist war. It was resist war.
Resist war.
And
then
I've been
Pikachu
seeing those
is up
buttons
there.
all over. That's
So,
that's
Again, guys, if you're going to do some protesting, make your message a little more clear, because I have no idea. I mean, I guess
throw a QR code up there or something.
Stop war is great, but what does Pikachu have to do with it?
Yeah. Pikachu.
If anything, that's just going to make me think oh, Pikachu, yeah, he's pretty badass.
Yeah,
Well,
you get my mind away from war.
Send
fast.
Pikachu to war, huh? Maybe we start raising our own Pikachus and...
Wait, are you? Oh, never mind. That's that was something. Never mind. I was gonna say, what do you mean by Pikachu?
Yeah.
Color, size, what? I don't know.
It can mean so many different things. All right, so let's get back on track. We're heading down to Tacoma Comedy Club. Check it out, man. We got to watch some comics,
Yeah.
see some stuff, and then, I think we'll just if you want to tag along, you can. You don't have a car, I got a car, and I'll take you to some of the mics. You can help me do some recording.
Thanks, man.
And
Appreciate it.
we'll try and. You want to
Yeah.
get on stage? I mean, I don't know if I'm been doing this long enough to give advice, but I have ideas, and most people don't listen to me, and the people who don't listen to me aren't anywhere farther than they were before. So,
Hey,
what can I say? I just know
all
I'm the
yours.
comedy simp, and I think I know a little bit, a thing or two about how to write a joke. You'll see that tonight. So,
I'm gonna simply let him
simply
Take me.
look at this guy.
right on through this whole day.
And then later we'll drink some Simply lemonade. I don't know.
That's gay.
What is your? What do you want to do with comedy? What do you have any
Okay.
goals, plans?
Well, I always told myself for so long that I said, I can't tell a joke. And then all I ever did, all my life has ever been is about being, making someone laugh, making someone feel better and happy. And it's just I like you to feel you, and then I don't care about me, but I want to see me go with just stand up and go that far. Take it to some specials. Do something like that. Whatever happens, I don't care. Like Cam Patterson's going into acting, and they're all leaving. Nate Bargatze, they're all going into acting. They do that. Dave Chappelle, he did that. He went into Men in Tights.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Oh, watch it if you haven't. I'll say no more. But you know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep on going, because that, to me, comedy is living. And I want to live.
Wow, man. It's pretty nice. That's some nice words of wisdom. Hey, can you look at that recorder behind us? How long we've been recording? It's in the back seat there. Just take a look at that.
Yeah.
How long it is? How many minutes?
It says 55.
Nice.
25.
What?
55:25.
Nice. Look at that. Almost an hour. And well, we got a few more minutes. Well, I'll tell you about my goals. How about that? Since we're here, it's been a couple weeks since I did a podcast last. You know, I did this kind of collaboration with my friends Rob Conroy and Casey Judson.
Oh.
They have their own podcast called The Random Hacks. I think, sounds like to me that kind of podcast has fizzled out. I mean, I don't know. They haven't done an episode in a few weeks, and they're paying a lot of money to use a studio, and that can get expensive over time. So, but I think, you know, and for the time being, until we figure out what's going on with the Random Hacks, I'm gonna have Rob on the podcast some more. You know, I'm gonna try and do one tomorrow with Nick Cody, possibly.
Okay.
Bring Nick Cody back on the pod, and then. I got the pro audition tomorrow at Club Comedy, so down to I mean, by the time this podcast comes out, I would have done it by then. So we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to try to do a podcast with Juggalo Jake. I don't know if you know him.
I don't know him.
He has been to the Whiskey Mile like once, you know, actually twice. Long story there, but yeah, no, good guy. Very creative dude. He works on all sorts of videos and short films, and you know, being a juggalo is just one little part of Juggalo Jake.
You still gotta file your taxes.
I already did my. I mean, what? No, taxes are done.
I know. Well, you still have to, no
yeah,
matter what.
Yeah.
If you didn't,
If you didn't do it by April 15th, well, you got some problems, man.
yeah, you're not getting money.
But yeah, man, keep at it, keep doing it. You know, I'll give you some pointers. Sign up for Tacoma. So the 21st every month, you could sign up for Emerald City Comedy Club's open mic. You might get a 5-minute spot. And then, you know, the first half of the month, you could sign up for the following month at Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And, you know, these pre-booked spots are nice. You know, it's nice to have something on the calendar. It's nice to have something to look forward to.
I've seen
And,
what their schedule usually is too. It'd
It's
be
nice.
best to just work there.
And it's kind of cool to see who's going to be there, so you can get excited about seeing
Yeah.
some of your friends. Tonight at Tacoma, I don't know too many of the people. Maybe 3, 4, 5 people that are going to be on the list. But
we feel comfortable there.
But yeah, no, then who knows? There's always a lot of regulars that just show up, throw their name in the bucket. So you might be one of them. We'll see. It should be fun. Anybody who wants to follow you online, they should follow you at what? Is it at Corey Hill Comedy?
Yep, COREYHILL comedy.
Yeah,
All
and
one word. And same with Corey Hill Art.
Corey Hill Art.
Find me there. Find me there.
You gonna be working on any music soon? Anything like that?
I think I can. I got all my equipment all packed up, but you're inspiring me to open that Pandora box.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it too. You know, like I used to be in a band, and you know, I love. I haven't picked up my guitar in a long time, but there's a bar up here or down here in Tacoma that's called the Backyard Bar and Grill, It's
I think I've heard of that,
It's ran by a guy named Tony Peters, who is a comedian in Tacoma, and he just took over this bar, and they had a guitar there, and kind of tuned it a little bit and played it for a little bit, and it was fun. But I keep thinking, I want to do something with music, maybe mix comedy and music. Who knows? There's not enough time in the day to do all the things that we want to do. But
you're a busy man, a busy married man, father, comedian, all that going, podcaster, and just another little tad bit. I used to love to take take photos down in Tacoma and Seattle at the Studio 7 and everything for all these hard rock bands like Violent Hallucinations and Anal Vomit.
Anal Vomit. Wow, that's a good one. That's a new one. I never heard of these guys.
I'll give you the cassette tapes and the things. So
I need a t-shirt.
Share, like he likes that.
I think they
stuff.
Do the theme song to Jeremiah Hughes' podcast.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
But that's out.
Guys want to follow me? It's at Stephen MJ Comedy. Gonna keep doing Comedy Simp podcast. Gonna keep seeing me out there, Tacoma, Seattle, Whiskey Mile, Sam's Open Mic every Thursday. Follow us at Sam's Open Mic Comedy on Instagram. And buy a t-shirt, buy a Comedy Simp t-shirt. Link in the description. And I think that's going to be it, man. We did a podcast in the car. We don't even know if it's going to turn out, but
look out for us.
Look out. All right.
Look out.
We'll see you guys next week.
Comedy Simp, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist. Spitting fire.